Hello everyone and welcome back to another Art of Conquest video. Like usual, this is Regent Rooney and today it's about Colosseum fights or Colosseum or how the hell do you want to pronounce it. I wanted to record the fight from the beginning because I was checking the log and the log was basically saving up quite a lot of fights, but unfortunately it does not save them all. So as much as you get attack, or as much as you attack. So this is just the yesterday one. This I'm gonna start with the beginning, so I can't actually show you the setups which I start the Colosseum with, but I'm gonna start with the setup that I love the most, and I have to say that I freaking love this setup. I'm in love with this setup and I don't plan to change it. It's not because I'm winning, but because for like 5 freaking months I'm trying to do this setup, yeah, for 5 months. And before I start showing you the replay, I just want to show you, in case you want to do this setup, I have to show that my tanks are maxed out. So except the resource cost reduction, everything else is maxed out on my tanks, and same is on my match. I mean, except the last one on my match. So except the last one because of the limit of goal capacity. So yeah, they rock. Match and tanks, they are very good. At least in the Colosseum they get the job done. They don't have no morale and so on. Tanks do not get crowd controlled by Blizzard, they do not get crowd controlled by Clio Hole. Root, I think Earthquake from gun might slow them down. I'm not sure, but they are beast. And I freaking love them. As I said, I'm trying for a very long time to do this setup, and now I made it possible, but they are maxed out. In addition to that, my heroes are level 50 except Gefga. So except Gefga, my heroes are level 50. Nora doesn't really count because I'm not using blasters in the formation, but Jack, Gefga and Grims, they are highly pumped up, and you can see I have 150 command on my Grims. That is phenomenal. When I did the math on the items that I had, I was like, for real, I can get 150 command on this guy. I was like, that's freaking crazy. And obviously max on tank mastery, ammo wagon and reload ammunition. And same is Jack. Jack is boosting the match as much as possible. Now the Colosseum and the logs. So I'm gonna start with the first one. As you can see by the portrait that these players which I started fighting in, you can see by the points, and you saw the points when I started it. Obviously I'm high up in the rank right now. You can see by the portrait that they are not spenders, so they didn't spend money, or at least they spent very few or not enough to gain a portrait. And when it comes about the portrait, I'm gonna tell you another story about the portraits. They saved up the record of everyone spending. So my server is over 1 year old. Basically everything that I spent from the beginning until now, it got saved up. When this VIP update came in, basically everyone who had previously spent, they had the record saved up and they just gained the VIP points. That doesn't mean that people are actually spending now that much, or they have spent that much. So this is Silent Conquest, pretty strong setup for a non-spender. I have to say it's quite significantly good. 4 swordsmen, 4 archers with the 27 upgrades and a group of healers. My advice for him, to max out the swordsmen and the archers, skip the gold healers, and just have some spare swordsman or archer or something like that. He has almost 50 EP, which is good. 50 Virion, 50 Avalon. So he has a very strong setup. Elena, all the important heroes, except EP is not 50, which is probably close enough anyway. But he got a 50 Mako, and that is impressive. Because look at the damage down, look at Mako, a level 50 Mako, and imagine that Mako was hitting match which have 60% reduced damage from ranged attacks. And I suppose that's Mako as well. So Mako would probably done close to 1.6 million or something like that if he wouldn't hit match. Not to mention that match also have the 30% reduction ability and the 20% evade chance. So yeah, Mako was pretty crazy, a level 50 Mako. Who would have thought of that? 134 might. It is an impressive hero. So let's watch the battle. That's why I call this setup a steamroll setup, because basically it's just match and tanks. Both look like they have exhaustion pipes, so they kind of mechanized units. So yeah, this is my steamroll setup, which I like it a lot. It's not just that it's working, it's just that I'm happy that tanks actually work. In PvP, for example, if you are smart enough, you can probably replace them, you can replace your front line with something else, and you can still have the tanks in the back line. But still, you have to take in consideration, and probably that's why never and no one has tried this setup. You have to take in consideration that in PvP, if you actually lose, like I'm gonna show you, because I lost against some players. I keep doing modification, and I've done modification to the setup to try to improve it as much as possible. If you actually lose your army, you have to think about the amount of resources that you lost, the amount of time, and you don't have not a single injury. It's not like if I would fight Silent Conquest in real-time PvP, you probably had let's say a total of 20 swordsmen dead, roughly 20 swordsmen dead, 20 archers, but rest they would have been injury. Me, I would have lost this for good, not even chance of having one injury. And if I would have lost, that's like 220k power that would have been gone just like that, vanish out of the window. So yeah, it's not like a setup you want to keep for a very long time, but as I said, I'm happy with it, I like it, and it's a very fun setup. It's a very fun setup to use. The first 4 fights that I'm gonna show you, I've tried all kind of setups. I mean, but I'm saying all kind of setups, I've tried all races. So the next one, obviously a non-spender. It was a dwarf, and you can see that I have a little bit more match dead because obviously of the fire off. It does a little much more damage to the match, and you can see, look, the blasters nearly 2 million damage. And he had a turtle. He also had level 50 heroes, all 4 of them, so he was pretty buffed up, pretty buffed up. So another impressive setup. Even that the turtle is not from a Rakan, is his own turtle, because obviously you can't loan troops in the Colosseum. It's only 10% attack rating, increase the health and attack rating by 10%. It's still a boost, especially for the blasters. 10% is something. So yeah, another interesting setup that people are doing.
For Silverwing!
And he had his match in group of 6. So I had in group of 5, so he had more match than I did. Did they start fire off? Yeah, they start fire off. Now look at the health of my match. Like, my match is literally melting down. I put deep in there because I had no idea what Pobeda is. I didn't know. I didn't check if he is human dwarf. I said it doesn't matter. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna go. So he was a dwarf.
You should feel honored to die at my hand.
Out of ammo. Did Grimm's use reload? I think he did.
We have defeated an enemy legion.
So yeah, tanks are no joke, man. They're really good. And I'm pretty sure that the match might get reduced damage from the machine guns. But I think when they use the tanks use the cannons, I think they do full damage to the match. I think only those machine guns that the match actually reduced damage from. And it's same for the swordsman. This is the third one which I've tried this setup, and this was a leech. But obviously, since he's not a spender, you can see he's like 195,000 health on his Dune Lords. His rose is only 45, and his gun is 45, so he should have max buff on his troops. But this is against Leech, no injury, no that, but again, this is not such a beefy player. Basically, you can see that the Scorpions, they have that shield on them with, I don't know how much the damage reduction it does, and they still gain a lot of damage. Probably does not have them maxed, I'm not sure.
So you got?
Excellent! We have defeated an enemy legion!
Anyway. I didn't have any death. When I saw the results, I mean, it doesn't really matter if you have some deaths or no in the Colosseum. But when I saw at the end of the replay, I said, "What? I didn't lost anything? Not a single match." I was like, "What?"
No! My brothers reduced to scrap metal!
I'm gonna speed up this a little bit. But look at that, I almost went in timeout. So I didn't lost anything, but I almost went in timeout.
You should feel honored to die at my
Because
hand.
obviously the tanks run out of ammo by the end.
No one is immortal!
Yeah, 5 seconds left.
I told you
It
not
was
to
an
mess
almost
with me!
timeout. Damage dealing, the Dune Lords obviously. because they were hitting match. And here I thought Jeffrey, which he has a purple portrait, but he's a human again. So he had two groups of gold swordsmen and two groups of silver swordsmen. Level 50, level 50. Well, where is Avalon? Oh, level 50 Avalon. So yeah, the important heroes, they are level 50, all the important heroes. Level 45 Bane, 46 Cleo. So yeah, all the important heroes, they are level 50, and I lost 5 match. But that's because he put silver swordsman. He really needs to reconsider his setup. Silver swordsmen in the front line, they do not work. I'm telling you from my own experience. I've tried silver swordsmen in the front line. Now I'm like, fuck them all.
For Silverwing!
Fucking silver swordsmen, useless. Look at them, they lose morale as well. They are weak. We are 10 seconds into the battle and he doesn't have any more silver swordsmen. That's how bad they are. My match is already into his archers. Probably works in PvP. Maybe he tested it. I don't know. But he needs much stronger front line. He wanted to work on Colosseum. So yeah, once I get to the archers, it's like game over anyway. Pesky
Your
archers,
story has run out of pages.
they don't stand a chance against match and tanks.
We have won!
That was the fourth one, and I think the fifth one was against another human as well. Yeah. Well, basically same thing. Me smashing the hell out of those swordsmen. But at least Spark did it right. Full front gold. Full gold groups with archers behind, so he done it right. Look at that, he have a level 50 Nora. He has a level 50 Mako. Wow. A lot of 50 heroes. 4, 5, 6. That's impressive. And then probably the best human player in the server, which basically had the same setup as the other humans. 4 archers, 4 swordsmen, the same outcome. His swordsmen are at 56,000 health and 50k attack. Look at that, level 50 everywhere. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 50 heroes. Wow. And he probably has more, because I think I've seen Valari. He has level 50 and probably some more others. So that's just crazy. But it's just that this setup, it's a counter for the human race, for the swordsmen. That's the whole point. It's not about the temple, it's not about the dragon. It's just simply that the setup that I built, it's a very good counter for this one. And then obviously I lost. And who could have beat me except Letus King? Very impressive setup and very impressive army. But look at that, 304k health Dune Lords. We've seen the previous Leech player had like 192k. So that's like, I don't want to think about it. But anyway, best Lich player in our server, Letus King. This was one of his setups that he used, and I got my ass kicked. Because the Dion Lords just simply melt the mesh, but he also have way powerful heroes than mine. Wish I had his heroes. And look at my tanks, yo. 6.5 million damage, 5.7. And I'm gonna explain you why my tanks did so much damage. It's because they killed a shit ton of spiderlings. That's right. And look at his spiders. They didn't basically scratch my match, because match are immune to poison. But the Dion Lords got that corrosive, whatever is freaking called, that is against match. Where is it? Steel corrosion, deal massive damage to match troops. There you go. A counter to match. So let's watch the fight.
For Silverwing!
You can see that I have one of those match front troop that is basically just done. He just died, while his troops were under control from my Clio.
Your story has run out of pages.
Anyway, there's nothing I could have done about it. He's just too strong for me. Well, at least I put up a good fight.
We have defeated an enemy legion.
I think I put up a very good fight there. That's the only thing, is that it's just that Doom Lords that are counter to match, they simply melted the match. And look at that swarm of freaking spiderlings summoned just by 5 spiders.
An enemy
Just crazy.
hero has been defeated.
Few healers behind. I'm gonna speed it up a little bit. Yeah. Very good setup, very strong setup.
May the light guide us!
Nothing I can say about that. And to be honest, I never saw him lose. Any of the replays, sometimes people post replays on the war chat, and some people just share them with me,
Your story
but I
has
never
run
saw
out
him
of
lose.
pages.
So that's how good he is.
The bigger they are,
But as I said, he got incredible heroes.
Long live Silverwing!
Brains and money combined together, the result is catastrophic for the enemy. Good for him. And was that the first time he attacked me? Yeah, that's the first time he attacked me. And that's another lose of mine against some guy from Celestial Order. I lost. Look at that. Llama. Freaking monkeys. How can monkeys take down tanks, man? That's unreal. But it did happen. Look at that. 4.4 million, 4.2 million, 3.4 million. Oh my days. That's some numbers I cannot watch. So yeah, my setup got wrecked by this Rakan. Win again, win again. I think this is a timeout against Shadow. And this is another impressive setup by Magic. Obviously I was expecting that he's going to attack me, but this is a very impressive setup. I got scared at the first thing when I saw, but obviously I saw victory after, and I was like, oh well, it is what it is. 92,000 health per skeleton, and there's 34 skeletons. 5 groups of level 15 skeletons, 6 groups of level 13 warlocks, and a spider. So that's pretty crazy. With a level 50 Gazul. Look at that. Skeleton Mastery, Immortal Strength. And this is funny about the Immortal Strength. And they have a 25% chance of immediately resurrecting upon death. Now, I'm gonna replay the battle, but I haven't seen any of them resurrect. Maybe it's not working now, or I didn't see properly. I only lost match on this fight. But again, he is over capped with gold, and if I'm correct, summoned units should not remain in the army if you are over capped with gold. So I would say that something is very fishy and buggy and wrong in this picture. Anyway, there shouldn't be players playing with level 15, 16 summoned troops. That's my opinion. Those are free units that you get by using some summoners. You resurrect them from the bodies.
For Silverwing!
I'm trying to look carefully to see if any of the skeletons they actually resurrect straight when they die, but there's just too many of them. I can't really see if they actually resurrect.
Feed the flames!
There's just too much going on to see, to be honest.
Your story has run out of pages.
Let me speed this up a little bit. Yeah, I think some of them resurrected when I just speed it up. I think that guy didn't he? I think he resurrected. Some of this guy. Anyway, I think it works. So the setup, I think it actually works. I mean the ability, not the setup.
Oh, Lee, brother!
Almost went into timeout. And by the way, this is my defense. I mean, he attacked me, just in case you're wondering. When it shows like that, when I'm on the right side, that means that's a defense. So yeah, I mean, I killed his army on this fight, but it was almost a timeout. I was the defender on this fight. And then the guy that I just lost, he attacked me again. He said, oh, I beat him, I'm gonna beat him again. Well, this time it didn't actually work the way it hoped. I did some modification and you can see I have only 2 matches lost. I put, instead of I put 2 more silver tanks instead of the blasters on this setup. So yeah, this one didn't actually work as intended for him, unfortunately. And just in case you're wondering about my dragon abilities, these are my dragon abilities. And yes, this is another loss. Am I getting? Yeah, this is the last. I think Letus King attacked me like 3 times, if I'm correct. He won all 3 of them anyway. I think this is the most recent one. And look at that, level 16 summoner troops. Now tell me that that is not wrong. They have more damage than magic level 13 gold troops. Honestly, that's totally wrong. Look at this. 2.6 million damage, 3 summoned unit troops. And they still don't fix it. It's like this for ages. But the fact that they can go over the overcapacity with them, that's more wrong. I'm not gonna play because obviously it's a defeat. But I think his Mako, where is it? Yeah, he has a level 50 Mako. Look at his Mako. For a single hero with only 4 square spots there, he's doing significantly high damage. Creamy Sea attacked me. I attacked Sakana. And this one was a timeout for magic. He did some modifications. Yeah, Creamy Sea, I think he was yeah, he switched to Rakan. If I'm correct, he was Dwarf and he switched to Rakan. I did lose a couple of matches, but in the end I was victorious.
For glory!
So I think this was the problem for me in this fight. I had Cleo somewhere down there and Cleo just does the hole in front of her, so I should have Cleo somewhere in the middle. Those 2 bastards on the top, they were not controlled by anything.
I never got to eat dessert.
They did whatever they are. Look how much damage they are doing with those piercing attacks. My heroes went down.
No! My brothers reduced to scrap metal! No! My brothers reduced to scrap
In the end, those freaking llamas.
Don't
Yeah.
you dare give up! We have
Those
lost
freaking
the
llamas
Legion.
died in the end. So once I got into the archer, it was all over for me. My
An enemy hero has been
steam
defeated.
rolling setup worked once
We
more.
have lost a legion.
Perhaps I underestimated you.
Like Rose said, Perhaps I underestimated you. So yeah, Rakan is not really working against this setup, even though the Llama, they are a counter to match. This was a win. It was basically a revenge attack. Because Sakana attacked me, she won, or he won, and then I just revenged it because it was on the bottom. It was going to go away and I could not revenge after, so I used the revenge. I won. And this was a timeout. This is where basically I lost, sort of speaking. But because it was a timeout, it granted me the victory. So yeah, he went with gold scorpions, which you can see they are not as strong as Letus King. Probably he doesn't have that much research in Dune Lords. But that brings us to the part where the amount of gold capacity that he has. He has 8 group of warlocks in this one. So that's another 2 groups more, plus 3 group of Dune Lords. And he still has a lot of summoned troops. Again, that's totally wrong for people to summon free units, high level units for free. If it's a timeout, I'm not gonna show it because it's probably gonna be 1.5 minutes. But yeah, I was in 2 tanks left and 2 heroes. I still have my free attacks. As long as I'm in the top 10 in rankings, I'm alright with that. Alright, so that's pretty much about Colosseum. That's my setup that I'm using right now. Match and tanks. It works in the Colosseum. I'm in the top 10. I'm happy about it. Hopefully I can keep it that way. And this was a freaking long video. And my camera is playing me tricks. I don't know how else to fix it. I'll probably fix this some other time. Anyway, that was all about it. That's a lot of fights. That's a lot of talking there. I see you guys on the next video. This is Legend Rooney. Peace out.